We were pretty famous back in high school. Trust us!
Had a whole future ahead of us, but now we suck.
All that potential now is flowing in the aqueducts.
Through the sands of time, many did forget.
But now our time has come to resurrect. But a podcast?
Sad I know, but can you blame us?
We are desperate to be much more than high school famous.
Let's just go for it and see what happens. So far,
Hello.
so good.
So far, so good.
All right.
It's oh so good. It's oh so far. Is that how you would describe what we're experiencing right now?
No.
Well, to just to get this done in case we have a total shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Welcome to High School Famous, the podcast featuring two idiots.
Is that it?
That's it.
Is that what you actually wrote, or did you just come up with that now because of everything that's been going on?
No, I wrote that earlier, and I wrote it.
How fitting!
Yeah, I made sure to deliver it in a way that it sounded like there was more coming when there wasn't. So that was the rub.
I'm Matt.
I'm Sean, one of the two idiots.
Yeah.
How many idiots are you, Matt?
How many? I am always one of two idiots.
Really?
Yeah.
You never just like a lone idiot?
Well, I always assume that there's another one out there, even if I'm not with that person.
So
I always
you
associate myself with a second idiot.
But the second idiot is interchangeable. It varies. It changes.
Yeah.
So you're the constant idiot.
Yeah. That's the whole dynamic of one of two.
I did not know that. To
speak of an inside thing. Yeah. That was established in the lore of what one of two is. Not to like lift the veil on what I'm talking about for anybody outside of the knowledge of what I'm talking about.
But in the lore of one of two, it was involving idiots, or was that something you're just applying to now?
I'm just applying it to now, yeah. One of two is always one of the two.
That makes absolute sense.
Mm-hmm. Which, when you think of it, that means anything he does without me and anything I do without him counts as part of one of two.
Right.
As long as one of us is involved with it, we can claim it as it's a one of two project.
So if you work on something with yourself or with yourself or and anyone else or any number, now
it could be considered one of two.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
So you could work with a whole team of other folks and it would still technically be part of that project.
It could be.
It could be.
Doesn't mean it will be or is.
If you want it to be.
Could be. Yeah, it could be associated with it.
Gotcha. All right.
At least that's how I've always looked at it. Not sure how he feels about it.
Now, is it so can this podcast be considered part of one of two should you want it to be? Or is it only music? We have a theme song.
Yeah, I guess we haven't really established what medium falls under the scope.
So do you consider the podcast theme song to be a one of two?
It could be because we technically both were part of it in that sense.
You don't even have to both be part of it, is what you're saying.
Yeah, we don't have to, but we were.
You're right. Featuring me.
Featuring you, yeah. I think at this point, if anybody knows anything about the theme song at this point, then they know who the other member of one of two is. to lift the fucking veil. One of two is a musical project that I and Josh did a long time ago, and we used to write some music, and then we would kind of do offshoots where each of us would maybe write something else, and it could also be considered part of that because each of us are one of two. That's basically what we're talking about. Anyway.
And by the way, I and Josh, very, very proper English right there, I must say. I and Josh. Bravo. You qualify as one of the two idiots right now by speaking like that.
I mean, it's technically not incorrect.
Well, you would say myself and Josh or Josh and I.
I mean, if you want to be super proper about it, but it's not technically wrong.
It is technically
say it.
Wrong.
No, I wouldn't say it's technically wrong. I think it's unconventional, but it's still gets the same point across.
Well, yeah, it gets the point across. I mean,
Yeah.
Talk to any English teacher.
I've heard it said that way before, where you flip the two.
So?
I have.
That doesn't mean it's correct.
Anything can technically be correct if it gets used enough. If enough people do something, it's technically correct.
I mean, that's true, but have we reached that level with this type of delivery?
I don't know. If other people use it, then yeah, other people speak that way. You know, it's like saying unthawed.
Ugh.
You know, it's annoying, right? But
yeah.
Enough people use it in that context that then it is no longer wrong. It's like the difference between people who say niche and niche. Both are technically correct because enough people say them one way or the other.
Do you know what the real way
pronunciation is? I believe it's technically supposed to be niche.
That's kind of what I thought.
When I grew up, I always said niche, and then I got corrected by somebody, as people tend to love to do. And now I think it just comes out of my mouth whichever way it comes out sometimes. Because even on like TV shows and stuff, I've heard it both different ways.
Yeah.
So it's like,
who corrected you?
Technically, I don't know if I want to say the person's name on here.
Well,
I don't know. I never know who's okay with their name being put out there.
Right. Well, whoever it was, they're a little biche.
Is that what you're trying to get at?
Yep. Yes, it was.
Is there a reason that I no longer see your video?
I don't know. No, I don't know. It just stopped. It just turned into a gray box, and I don't see myself either. I just see a gray box and then you. Well, this is great.
The audio's working,
and that's all we care about.
Recording, and that's more important than anything else at this point. Yeah, I'm tired of dealing with whatever technical issues we've had going on today.
Yeah, it's been lift the veil. We had some technical issues, and we're hoping that we're not experiencing any further. Although you never know. We'll find out when we're done.
Yeah. I mean, this is nothing new for this podcast of us having technical issues, but were far from them for a while.
It's been a while, so maybe this is good. Maybe we needed a good
and hopefully I'm hoping it's a Squadcast issue and not an us issue at this point, because I think it's a Squadcast issue at this point. For some reason, I think they're just having something happening today.
Something weird.
Yeah. Other than my mic issue that I had, that was my computer, but we should be okay now.
You know, everyone all listening out there, we hope you all had a wonderful, joyous Memorial weekend. We hope you all got out in the sun, spent some time with friends, maybe hung out at some memorials.
I was about to say, I'm like, if you celebrate that holiday, and it's like everybody technically, it's not like a Christmas, like a religious thing. It's
it's not. No,
everybody deals with Memorial.
I don't know if it's just America or if it's more of a global holiday.
That I'm not fully aware of.
All right, I've got a couple.
Let's do.
So let's jump off of Memorial Day. So dad jokes. This calendar has not really delivered a lot of solid material, and I have to say this week was particularly rough. Like it's I'm not sure if whoever was in charge of this week committed suicide, or
they give different people different weeks of jokes to come up with.
Well, they can't.
Like Marty, you've got May 5th through whatever.
Yeah, I mean, you got to delegate. You got to spread out the workload. You don't want to rely on one. Let's say you just say, "Hey, everybody, we got to come up with a year's worth of jokes. Have at it." You'll get 5 submissions for May 26th, and we can't have that.
I think they would just submit a bunch of jokes, and then they would weed out any duplicates, weed out anything that's offensive, weed out anything that's not funny. But then they would run out. They wouldn't have enough for the year.
Well, this calendar wouldn't have anything.
But
so far.
Yeah, I think what it would come down to is you just compile a bunch of jokes, and then other than ones that are specific for a specific type of year, then you just take them and just spread them out. You wouldn't be like, "Hey, I need you to find me a May 5th."
Well, so we know that in the winter months there were some jokes that were more winter related, and now we've got more summer. So those are. Yeah, they're not pinned to a day. Yeah, they're seasonal. Like this one, for example. Matt, what does sheep like to do during the summer?
Bathe. I don't know. Is that better than the actual joke?
It's
not good.
It's funnier because it's stupider, more stupid.
It's more stupid.
But you're kind of along a similar line. But I got to really sell this one. Have a barbecue.
Oh, okay.
So
that works slightly better because sheeps don't say "bay," which is where I was the direction I was going with it. But I couldn't think of anything.
Well, you could just say take a bath. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I'll be your punch-up guy.
But taking a bath is not necessarily a summer activity.
I know, that's why I didn't know what you were saying with that one. But
maybe it was like sunbath.
Maybe you
sunbathing.
Okay. Maybe you can write jokes and I can be your punch-up guy. I can make them better.
There you go.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I almost want to tell you the rest of them because of how bad they are. Bask
in the sun. That would have been better.
There you go. And that's only a summer activity.
That's something they like to do in the summer.
During the summer, correct. They don't like to do it during the winter.
At night they bask in the moonlight. You
can't use the same. That's the same joke. It's just a different time of day.
That's what they like to do.
No, that's not on here though. How can we verify that? It's not on this square piece of paper.
Barbecue.
Yeah, exactly. So,
it's like
you don't know sheep
with an accent.
I know.
Let's go barbecue.
Shrimp on the barbecue. I guess they're Australian. Maybe it would have been better if it said, "What do Australian sheep like to do during the summer?"
That to me sounds more like a northeastern accent, like a Boston type.
Like
accent.
A Boston?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my accent. That's it.
I don't think you lived there long enough to gain an accent.
I did not. I kind of wish I did. I moved here before I turned 1, so it's hard to develop an accent during that time because you're not yet speaking. And I don't know if it really would have. I mean, my parents, neither of them have a Bostonian accent, so I don't think I would have.
If you would have lived there long enough, you would have been around. I mean, because you're not only around your parents, so you'd probably have an accent, but it would be more subtle. Like you'd probably have a subtle accent, but more so like it'd probably be more so the way you talked, like the cadence in which you talked, and like
the rhythm
phrases. Yeah. Those things probably would have held up.
Possibly. We'll never know.
Yeah, passively.
No, I'm stuck with this, non-existent Midwestern sort of accent, I guess, if you could call it that. But maybe I think that because that's how I talk.
It's a non-regional dialect.
Yeah, it's pretty lackluster.
Like I know people definitely like say like people will say like, "Oh, I can tell you're from like Minnesota. You have that Minnesota accent." And obviously we don't hear it. But what always irritates me is when people do like the exaggerated accent that they heard in the movie Fargo.
It's more like North Dakota.
Well, it's just that, yo, you betcha thing. And it's like people have done that to me. And I'm like,
it's yeah.
Well, you know what
it's yeah, you bet, not yo, you betcha.
Well, yeah.
You can't even do it right.
I know. See, there you go. But I'm like, anytime somebody does that, I'm just like, you're thinking of the movie Fargo. Fargo's in North Dakota. Shut the fuck up. Because it's just like, first off, that accent is like overly exaggerated. And the directors of that movie knew that and did that on purpose to accentuate it because they were from Minnesota.
I'm waiting for you to develop your strong Chicagoan accent. When's that going to happen?
Never.
Why not?
I don't talk to enough people around here that, for one, I don't believe there's a straight up like Chicagoan accent. You're thinking again of like Saturday Night Live and the Bears guys or whatever.
Well,
which again was an exaggerated version of an accent.
Right. Well, I know someone that would come on the shopping channel and sell home goods from Chicago. Had a very solid Chicago accent. Not quite as extreme as the SNL, the Bears type of guys, but you could hear it.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing, though, is like if you're around it enough, you just don't hear it anymore. It's you just get so used to what it is that you don't really pay attention to it.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably it. But I think also like Chicago is very, very diverse. So you talk to so many different types of people that you're not hearing like one accent all the time.
Right.
You're hearing so many different accents. your video's randomly back.
Well, I tried just shutting it off and turning it back on, and that did the trick.
Oh, hey. Thanks, IT.
Yeah.
What they would have told you to do.
Yeah. Well, they would have told me to delete my cache and cookies first.
Oh,
And
yeah.
then-
We should probably do that too. That might
hold on.
help our situation. Not while we're recording.
Oh, sorry. I'm on a Mac. I don't even know how to do that. I never have
through
to
the
do
internet. Through the internet, you just do it the internet on the settings inside your browser.
It sounded like you said through the internet, you just do the internet.
I probably did because I was like, my brain was processing what I was trying to say while my mouth was just continuing to say things, which is a problem for me.
Now, is it pronounced cache or cache?
It's cash. You know it. You know it's cash.
I know. GIF or GIF? Where do you fall on the fence? Which side of the fence?
GIF.
GIF?
Because the G in GIF stands for graphic.
Graphical, yeah. Choosy moms choose GIF.
Well, that's a J, so that's still GIF.
No, I know, but I was applying.
There was an episode not too long ago that I just listened through, and we were talking about whether you preferred creamy or chunky peanut butter, and I asked what kind of peanut butter you liked, and I asked if you were a choosy mom, and we had a whole argument about that. So
I remember that now. Yeah.
We were like, oh, only choosy moms, blah, blah, blah. But as I was listening back, I was just like, that wasn't what I was asking. I was asking if you were a choosy mom. Specifically, because you liked Jeff.
just to clear the air with everyone.
Yeah.
I currently in my cupboard have Skippy. So I'm not a choosy mom at the moment.
Oh.
But I do have
You think you know a guy.
I do have both creamy and chunky peanut butter in my cupboard right now. They both might be expired. I don't know. I don't find myself often using peanut butter for anything.
Right.
So they might be expired.
So having 2 jars, that makes sense.
Well, sometimes I just like to take a spoonful of peanut butter.
Oh, fuck yeah. But
yeah.
It's just funny. I'm just like, don't really use peanut butter that much. Probably get one of each. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, I barely use it.
Are they like the good size jars too, or at least the little ones?
No, they're the full size jars,
nice
for
big
sure.
Ones.
Yeah. Now I'm not sure what this means, but
or whatever the hell they are.
Up in my upper left corner, it says "app is not focused." I'm not sure what that means.
That on yours as well. I don't know either. There's a little information button you can click on.
I am afraid to. It went away
because I clicked on it.
You must have clicked on it like right before I did because I thought I clicked
Probably.
it. What's it say?
I don't know. It said a bunch of stuff. I didn't feel like reading it all.
Yeah.
So it's gone now.
Hey, everyone.
So let's not worry about it.
I know. Hey, everyone. We're discovering crap about this software.
Yeah, and if you're listening to this right now, everything's fine.
That means it worked. Yeah,
everything's fine. And we're worried about nothing.
Yeah,
Only
right now.
You know.
Yeah, I know. Right now, I'm the whole time we're sitting here, I'm like, this might be a giant waste of time. We'll find out.
Well, it's like
in about 40 minutes.
This deep into the recording, like where they already know, but we don't. We won't know till it's all done.
Yeah. I know. This is fun.
So it's like it's like they're ahead of the game, but they're not.
Now, I want to update everyone on The Birds.
The movie The Birds that we talked about.
No.
No? Okay. Just the birds in general.
The birds that were visiting and perching above my neighbor's door.
Yeah. I forgot that's why we talked about that movie.
Right. No. So there were some random birds, which I believe were displaced because of they're redoing all the roofs in my whole complex. So these 2 birds decided to perch themselves above my neighbor's door at night. They were swarming at me when I would enter and exit my apartment.
Is 2 birds a swarm?
Well, they can make a circle. Yes, it is.
Okay.
It feels like a swarm. Okay. And I don't know if you've ever been in that position, but you would call it a swarm if it was you. I guarantee it.
I don't know if I've ever been. I may have been swarmed by bees once.
Really? I haven't.
Yeah, I got stung in the eye.
Oh, I have never been stung by a bee.
Really?
Or a hornet or a wasp, whatever, any of those things.
God, I've gotten stung so many damn times because I was a precocious little cunt and I
You're tough.
I used to fuck with insects all the time.
Well, we all know you were tougher than the bees.
I was tougher than bees. I think
Right.
that had to refer to that time, and I probably mentioned that I got stung in the eye when we talked about that, to be honest.
Maybe, but anyway.
I was fucking with the bee's nest, and I got stung in the eye.
So with the birds, the swarming has ended. We are now coexisting. I approach my door. They do not move. They know that I'm not going to bother them, and they don't bother me anymore. It's all done. We're all just
come
living.
to compromise.
Yeah, we get along now. I'm no longer.
I wonder if they fuck with your neighbor who actually has to go into the door that they're perched above.
Well, I think I saw them moving some stuff out, so I think they moved. But oddly enough, because I hadn't heard any commotion or anybody coming in and out of that place in a while, but coincidentally, just today when I was pulling in, getting home, I saw them both get out of their car and start walking to the door. So it could be that they were just doing like a final look through, or maybe they're cleaning or something.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they didn't move. Maybe they went on vacation. I have no idea. But either way, they seem to have been gone for a while. I thought they moved because I thought I saw like one of their parents help them like unload stuff out of the place, whatever. But now either they're back for good or they're back to just take care of some final stuff before they actually officially are moved out. But anyway, but I mean, yeah, I never heard them come in and out with where the birds were there, and
never heard them screaming at any point.
Yeah. But I imagine if the birds were even on top of my door, they would no longer come at me. I mean, yeah. So it's been fun. But last night they weren't there. There were no more birds. So we'll see if they're back tonight.
Night out. They're having a night out.
They're having a bird's night out. It's Memorial Weekend.
Yeah.
It was Memorial Weekend.
They're on vacation.
Birds celebrate too. Birds have lost loved ones.
Oh, constantly.
All the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes multiple birds with one stone.
Yeah, I think the lifespan of a bird is usually only a few years anyway, on average.
It varies per bird.
I think it varies per bird. I think robins, it's like on average like 2 years or so.
That's not much.
If you see like a really big one with like a very like dark red chest, that's an older one.
Oh yeah,
that one's been around for a little while, but usually they only live like, I think it's like 2.5 year average or something for a robin.
So
I have weird random knowledge about stupid little things. Like I don't know much about like any other birds, but it's like I heard. It's like when you just hear a fact about something, but it just sticks in your head for some reason.
A little birdie once told you.
Apparently,
I've been
unless you're Robin from Batman and Robin.
Yeah, then you live like
then
forever.
The Joker kills you at some point.
Yeah, but then you get replaced.
You're reincarnated.
Right?
Yeah, you're reincarnated as a different person takes over the role.
But you still ultimately become Robin.
Yeah.
I forget who the other Robin is, or how many Robins there have been besides Dick Grayson. I don't even remember. But
yeah, I don't remember either.
So I've watched this show called, I think it's called Prehistoric World or Prehistoric Planet. It's on Apple, and it's shot like it's a nature documentary. You know, like where any of those animals documentaries are, where you have a narrator and they have footage of animals getting into tussles with other animals or like mating rituals and whatever else, and they just sort of form a story around it.
Right.
Well, they do that here, but with dinosaurs.
Right.
So they shoot real life location.
I know. I'm just thinking, I'm like being that film crew that has to go out and just like, all right, go film this valley for a while.
Yeah, and get a close up shot of like the grains of sand at one point because we're gonna show a foot like sliding through it, trying to change its course. You know, all this stuff. So they have to just shoot all this random
storyboard the shit out of all that.
Yeah, but it looks pretty cool.
That's so different than like just going out and like doing an actual like animal documentary where you're just like, all right, just follow this animal around and see what it does. This is like they have to storyboard the story. They have to create the story that they want to tell and then go through and pick all the shots they want to do and do it more. It's more like a movie then at that point, the way they put it together.
Exactly. And I would say it's probably easier or less time consuming because if you're out there shooting an actual real life nature documentary, you're like, gosh, I hope this is the day we finally catch this animal doing A, B, or C, you know?
Yeah.
When you have no idea. It's up to the animals to provide you with the content, where with the dinosaurs, they could just create, make them do whatever they want.
Unless you're Disney and you're filming lemmings and then you throw them off a cliff to make people believe that lemmings will jump to their death.
I'm guessing that's something that they did.
Yeah.
Wow. Why'd they do that?
They wanted to make it more interesting. So there's a shot in an old documentary from like the 50s or 60s or 70s or something a while back that Disney made this documentary about animals, and they were doing lemmings. And to make it more interesting, they made everybody believe that lemmings will just jump to their death if they're like running from danger or something like that. So the people were literally throwing lemmings over like a ledge into like a lake.
But why would people do that though? You know, the lemming wasn't choosing. Let's say that's what lemmings did, right? They're like, there's no hope for us. We're not going to give this predator the satisfaction. We're going to jump to our death. That doesn't mean that lemmings are just out to just commit suicide. So it's like, hey, let me have fun with this lemming and toss it over a ledge. That's what they like to do.
I think what it was is I don't think it's something lemmings ever did at all.
No, I know, but I'm just saying hypothetically, if the Disney documentary was accurate, and that's what they do, why would people then go, hey, let me throw this lemming off the ledge? That's what they like. That's not what they like to do.
Yeah, if it was true, like they were trying to make it seem like it was true, they wouldn't. If it was true, they wouldn't have had to throw them off the ledge. They would have just filmed them doing it.
So wait. You're saying
I don't know what you're trying to say.
Hold on. So you're saying for the documentary they were throwing lemmings off the edge to make it appear. Oh, see, I thought what you were saying was in response, the viewer response to seeing this documentary was people started grabbing lemmings and just throwing them off.
No.
That's what I thought was happening as a result.
No, the people who were making the documentary threw lemmings off of a cliff to make people believe that's what lemmings would do.
You know,
when they don't. So there's this whole thing, this false narrative that people believe lemmings will jump to their death when they really don't do that.
I would say that Disney is probably responsible for some pretty horrendous things.
Oh, yeah.
Be it awful business practices, maybe be it like, you know, borderline child labor with animators, who knows, like all kinds of crazy stuff.
Song of the South.
That stuff too, but you know, the
stealing characters from partners and claiming they're your own.
What is it? The crows in Dumbo.
Yep.
You know, not very racially sensitive. Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. The creation of Mickey Mouse.
This might be. You're
like, drop it. We've talked about this.
Right. This might be one of the worst ones.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
Like,
I don't know if they killed any of the lemmings by doing this.
Who cares?
They didn't do them any favors.
But what's the point? Like, just be like, you know what? The lemmings thing didn't turn out to be very interesting. Let's scrap it. It's like, no, let's make up this whole idea that they all jump off of a ledge to escape a predator. They sort of,
Maybe they were trying to do something along the lines of the spaghetti harvest and make this big.
Maybe it was supposed to be an April Fool's
kind
joke
of a thing, but then people just bought into it and it stuck around for many, many, many years. And I think a lot of people still believe lemmings will just jump to their death.
I guess if they're not,
but
if people aren't that
stupid.
I guess if people aren't trying to assist the lemmings in doing this, then what's the actual harm aside from just spreading misinformation? Like, what harm did this really do to the lemming population?
Oh, yeah, probably nothing.
Right. So I guess it's all in good fun.
Yeah, but I mean, misinformation's not great. Why?
No.
I mean, that's stuff like that's the reason why people still believe the Earth is flat.
Oh man, I heard something awesome about
Since
that.
I still believe again.
I heard an awesome argument that supports this, and you're gonna change. You're gonna be
I'm gonna flip over to a flat earther.
Yeah. So listen to this argument. If 71% of the Earth is covered in water, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the ocean isn't carbonated, that means that the Earth is flat.
Ah, oh, Jesus Christ!
I loved that when I read it.
Okay. I'm not gonna
convinced?
flip sides. I'm not gonna switch sides. But that argument is by far the most logical argument for the Earth being flat
I've ever heard.
Like, all the other ones are just garbage. That one, that's the one I can get behind. Doesn't mean the Earth itself is actually a flat disc,
right? But
it's technically flat.
Yep. It means that, the liquid covering the, you know what it means. I don't need to tell
bubbles. It's not bubbly.
Well, Matt, what do you want to do here? We have a podcast we got to do. We got to do this podcast today. What do you want to do?
We've been doing it.
Yeah, we've been
fine.
doing it.
You're drawing attention to the fact that we now have run out of things to talk about.
But yeah, we get to a point where it's like there's nothing more to do, and so I'm just like, what do you want to do? Like from now on,
like going forward with the with every episode.
With this episode. What do you want to do?
I don't know, man. I mean, we've talked about our technical issues.
Yeah, we did.
We did the dad joke. Let's see. We talked about.
We don't need to go. No. This is stuff this is stuff we do off air. We talk about what we talked about. That's not. We don't need to do that on.
So it makes it easier. I can reference back to this point in the recording, so I can remember what we talked about.
Sure. Go back to.
Oh yeah, I mean, we hit up all the animal stuff.
When does this happen in the movie? Now. Oh, go back anyway.
Spaceballs reference.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
Nice.
What the funny thing is, since I had to restart my computer, these two tabs I had were then gone.
You had some stuff pulled up, ready to go.
A little bit. This is they don't get into a lot of detail. So this is I found a silly list. It's 13. Now I don't know if we have to talk about all of them, but it's bizarre breakfast cereals that you won't believe existed.
Oh, don't tell me what I won't believe.
You're not going to believe.
I already hate this list.
In looking through this list, I recognize two of them.
Okay,
and I believe I've heard of the third one. So one of them, if you're familiar with the movie Pee Wee Herman's Big Adventure,
yeah,
which I'm sure you are.
I already know about it. Then yeah.
Then you know about. So
here's the thing. There's this list of 13 that you won't believe ever existed. You already are fully aware of two of them and believe that you know of the third.
Right.
So therefore, this list is already fully inaccurate.
So when I'm referencing the list, you is not referring to me. So this is not saying that these are cereals that I won't believe ever existed. Right. It's the royal you.
The general you.
So it's not including whoever's reading it at the time.
Right.
Maybe. So you know of Mr. T cereal, correct?
Yes, I am aware of Mr. T cereal.
All right. Do you know that there was a cereal called Breakfast with Barbie?
No, I can't believe it.
Well, I can't believe it either, but I mean, there's an image and a description below it, so it has to be true.
Oh, yeah.
Breakfast with
nothing can be created.
And on the internet, I mean, you could type, Chat GPT, create a Barbie cereal box, and it would probably pull something up very similar to this.
Well, no, it's just that's all.
It would just pull this
text.
Up.
Yeah, it's just text document. It's not image creation.
Well, what's the stuff where it creates like paintings and
there's
whatnot?
A million other like AI generated art programs and stuff, but not ChatGPT.
ChatGPT is text only.
Yeah, hence chat.
Come on. I mean, well, if you and I are chatting and texting, we can send pictures and videos if we want. Don't act like that's limited to just text. Even Twitter, which used to just be 144 characters of text, is now everything else. So,
Twitter.
That doesn't mean that Chat GPT, just because it has the word chat in it, I'm supposed to assume it's limited just to text.
Well, you no longer need to assume, good sir, because now you know.
Right. Anyway, Breakfast with Barbie was one of a handful of Ralston Foods cereals based on licensed characters. Others included Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Gremlins, and Batman. Making its debut in 1988, it just might be the most 80s-looking cereal box of all time. Yeah, it just sort of has that. It's pink. It's got that sort of classic 80s kids toy font. And there's just an image of Barbie. Anyway, that's one of the less interesting ones. I just wanted to jump to that one first after mentioning Mr. T. The other one I've heard of, which I've actually seen in the store, was King Vitamin. Do you remember King Vitamin?
I do.
We're wondering how much they paid this guy to don a crown of spoons and smile at the camera. Whatever he's selling, we're not buying.
Well, it's cereal. He's selling cereal.
Correct. And they look like little gears almost, or stars. But anyway, all right, let's get into some of the stranger ones. So there's a cereal that was called Sir Grapefellow.
Oh, did it have raisins in it?
No. Here's what it says. There once was a time when there were multiple grape-flavored cereals on the market for some reason, and this one differentiated itself by being named after a fictional knighted gentleman who enjoyed flying airplanes with no hands.
The airplanes didn't have hands?
Well, they don't appear to have hands. This airplane doesn't appear to have hands either, but the pilot, Sir Grapefellow, is he's got one elbow out the side, just relaxing, and the other one he's given the old A-OK symbol. So he's not using his hands to pilot the actual plane at the moment. That's a
terrible idea.
Well, he's not Sir Grapefellow for nothing.
I guess at least during the photo session, I'm assuming this is a cartoon and it's not an actual photo, but during this fictional character's photo sesh, as it would be inside of this fictional world that we have developed, taking your hands off I'm assuming like it's a plane that would just have a joystick, like a biplane kind of situation.
Yeah.
Taking your hands off of the stick for a few moments, the plane's not going to just immediately crash. So that's fine. But takeoff, landing, really hard to do those things with no hands. Exactly.
Almost impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, you could land with no hands. It just wouldn't be very smooth.
That's not technically a landing.
By definition, it landed on the ground. Like it came into contact. It touched down onto the ground.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's in a way that keeps
into a mountain,
which is part of the ground. It's part of the earth. Whether or not it was in a way that kept the plane intact and the pilot alive is to be seen. So
technically a landing, not necessarily a successful landing.
Exactly. But it landed.
If successful means that both plane and pilot survived the landing.
Right. Very unsuccessful. Yeah. Providing it landed or crashed into a mountain or the ground. I mean, this is just a moment in time frozen on this box forever. We don't know what happened before or after this freeze frame of Sir Grapefellow.
Right.
The most intriguing part of this whole thing, it says, is this supposed air car. Free inside Sir Grapefellow's air car. And what it looks like is a small blue or purple plastic car that has some sort of red balloon on top of it. And I'm guessing you're supposed to somehow fill the balloon and then the car will float, but I don't know how this works.
Unless you fill it with helium, no.
Exactly, right?
Or some other gas.
I'm sure this was where, a kid or a kid's parent just filled the balloon with air, then they just tossed the car into the air, and then it just eventually, landed. Yeah.
This is stupid.
All right. Yeah.
I hate it.
All right. Another one is called
Fuck
Okay.
you, Sir Grapefellow.
This one's called Okays.
Okay.
How does eating what's basically a bowl of Cheerios with some K's added to it amount to a super jacked Scottish man, apparently named Big Otis?
Oh.
So yes, very brawny, muscular, red-bearded Scottish man flexing his one arm and holding the bowl of K's and O's with his other arm.
Mm.
The weirdest thing to me on this box.
It'd make more sense if it was KOs and not OKs.
Yeah, they're OKs though, but
because he's a big brawny guy who could be knocking people out.
Right. It says either way, we have the feeling that this cereal was just okay. The weirdest thing to me is how they spell underneath OKs. It says brawny new oat cereal, but
okay.
So when you have like to stretch out a word, you will add repeating letters. Like for their great, it's just a bunch of R's in a row.
Or so Red Bull gives you wings.
Exactly.
All the extra I's.
So they didn't do like B/R/R/Ani. They did BR/R/Ani. They just separated that one.
Ronnie.
Yeah. Ani. Yeah. That was very oddly laid out. But another thing, all these you're going to find some sort of special thing inside. But this says play the Big Otis Catapult game.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like the things that are inside have literally nothing to do. Like they're just completely disconnected from the cereal itself.
I mean, Mr. Grapefellow's air car. I don't know.
Yeah, but he flies a plane. What does a car have to do with it? Just put a
plane in
the fucking thing.
Put Mr. Grapefellow's plane inside. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see. We did that. Mr. Wonderful's surprise. Hey kids, Mr. Wonderful has a surprise for you, and he's wearing a polka dot jacket and a periscope on his head. Thanks, but we'll pass.
That's not creepy.
Only cereal with a creamy chocolate flavor filling.
Everything about this is not okay.
Yeah, and it's a goofy looking dude wearing a white jacket with red polka dots, purple pants, purple and white shoes, and then his hat is like it looks kind of like a stovepipe hat, but it is a periscope on the top, and he's got two what I would think are two halves of a cereal piece to show the chocolate on the inside, but it could be two bowls of the cereal. I don't know, because either way, it's two half spheres filled with some sort of brown substance. And to talk about being disconnected, inside this box, you get a free super ruler. It's a yellow plastic ruler with a bunch of like stencils inside of it, like a star and a triangle and a square and whatnot. So yeah, nothing to do with surprises.
Yeah, it sounds like this is the kind of cereal that he would deliver directly to your door so that he can tell you that he has just moved into the neighborhood because he's obligated to by law.
Right, exactly. Why, I guess, try to smooth the whole thing over or whatever, or ease the news of it by providing this cereal. But yeah, I wouldn't trust the cereal.
Because he still wants the kids to like him.
Yeah. Or succumb to some sort of altered state as a result of eating this cereal. We don't know what he put in it. Yeah, eating his chocolate filling.
Put his cream in it, yeah.
Matt, do you like cornflakes?
Chocolate was added for flavor. Cornflakes?
The cereal really needed a sweetness. Yeah. Well, how about cornflakes with instant bananas?
What makes them instant?
Well, it says here, we're not sure if freeze-drying bananas makes them instant, but either way, we'd much rather just slice up a banana and add it to our cereal. You're just supposed to add milk. It says, just add milk, presto, real tasty banana slices.
Yeah, because it's just dehydrated bananas that then get rehydrated with the milk.
Yeah. So this is a real sort of like, when you have like an image and then in that image is someone holding something that has the image on it and then it repeats itself.
Yeah.
On this box of cereal is a banana that's partially peeled, and the peels, like the pieces of the peeling, are acting as the arms. He's wearing a boater's cap, of course, as all bananas do.
Yeah.
And the top of the banana appears to have been sliced off, and that is now the nose of the banana. And this banana is pouring a box of this cereal into a bowl. And on the image of the box that the banana is pouring is the banana himself. So it's the
same image that we're currently looking at. So it just kind of keeps helixing itself through.
Yeah. But luckily, they were smart. The peel that's holding the box that he's pouring is covering up the portion of the box that would show the smaller box on the smaller box. So it's covering up the need to, the printing technology back then was probably way more limited. You probably couldn't have such tiny detail, Yeah. All right. I don't know about you, but I often find myself in the mood for some crunchy logs.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is another. So these last two in a row are Kellogg's, the banana cornflakes, and now crunchy logs. Kellogg's crunchy logs, ready sweetened corn and oat cereal. There's nothing to this one. They look like brown, like small rodent turds, basically.
Right.
And they have a beaver on the cover, a cartoon beaver, about to enjoy a spoonful of crunchy logs. And to keep with the theme of items inside not fitting the theme of the cereal, this says back to school savings on a Quiz Kid calculator. It looks like the calculator looks like a red owl with buttons on it. So, doesn't a nice crunchy log sound appetizing? We'll save these for the beavers. All right, these next two are going to be inspired by pop culture. We have Urkel O's.
I think I'm aware of Urkel O's.
Yeah, for some reason in the early 90s, the Family Matters character Steve Urkel ruled the airwaves, and Ralston Foods decided to give him his own cereal. The cereal was basically just yellow and red Fruit Loops and didn't even have anything to do with Urkel himself, of course.
Right. They just Had to pay him for his image. That was about it.
Exactly.
He also had a board game.
Oh, great. Well, this makes even more sense. The image they decide to put on the cover of the box. It's Urkel. He's got one of those big bass drums strapped to the front of him.
Okay.
He's in red and white striped pants. Actually, red and white striped, pants with suspenders and like a long dark blue jacket and another sort of like a boater's cap and two. Is
that a thing?
2 mallets, right?
Okay.
And then on the drum itself, I guess, is it the head? If it's a bass drum where you hit both sides, is it still the drum head? Anyway.
Yep.
It says Urkel for president. Free campaign button inside.
Weird.
Yeah, the drum says free campaign button inside. So I guess that means that inside this drum that he's hitting, there's a campaign button.
Inside Urkel?
Maybe.
And inside the box, you just get some rubber gloves.
Yeah.
And a map. And a map to find Urkel.
Yeah. Urkel owes sweetened cereal is all it says. You gotta love that. The next one is...
You don't remember that news story about all the people that kept, trying to
find the campaign button?
Jaleel White.
Yeah.
pull buttons out of him.
They'll come running at him with snapping their rubber gloves. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he sued Ralston Foods for that one, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know what? It totally tarnished his campaign. He did not even come close. He had no shot in that election.
No, because at that point, the other people had all that dirt about how he had so many hands up inside of him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All that, it looks bad for your campaign.
Yeah, it made...
all that weird sexual stuff comes out.
It made Clinton look like a saint.
Oh, it was during the Clinton.
Well, it says early 90s. So
okay.
I figure Clinton was first elected 93 or 90. I think he was elected in 90. Well, it's always an even year election. So was he elected in 92?
I don't remember.
I think it was 92. Let's move on. Another one in 1991, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, starring Kevin Costner.
Oh, yeah.
Very own promotional tie-in serial, even though the character on the box didn't even bear a passing resemblance to Costner. It really just looks like some old-timey drawing of Robin Hood. It looks nothing like Kevin Costner whatsoever.
I'm sure Kevin Costner didn't give him the rights to his image, I'm sure.
No. Shaped more or less like arrows, this vaguely citrus-flavored cereal has gone down in history as one of the most bizarre and pointless ever sold.
Citrus-flavored?
Yeah, it's...
Like, what does that have to do? Like,
I don't know. But I mean,
on the inside, being shaped like arrows.
Yeah, that makes sense. But
I mean, I don't really. There's not really a flavor that screams Robin Hood that I've been like, this flavor makes more sense than citrus,
right? Unless it's the forest.
Yeah, pine scented cereal.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. But these, they could look like arrows. They could look like a dick and balls. It depends on what angle you're looking at them at.
Oh,
it could
depend on the angle.
It depends on, which way you
sometimes depending on the angle I'm looking at my penis, it looks like an arrow sometimes.
Sure. Very long and skinny.
Depends on the time of day.
Sharply pointed arrow.
The company I keep.
With its feathered on the other end.
You don't know what I have in my other end.
Is it a campaign button? Anyway. Yeah, so that was that one. I'll be fine. All right. We've got dinosaurs. In 1990,
that just sounds like something you get if you sit at a Denny's for too long.
I got to get up and stretch.
I mean, they're open 24 hours.
Yeah, I know. I mean, you could
just hang out there all the time.
You could develop a case of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
It's like bed sores, but in a diner.
Yeah.
Just in case someone couldn't figure out.
Got it. Yeah.
In 1998, the people at Ralston, gotta love Ralston. They're responsible for Barbie, for Urkelos, for Prince of Thieves, for Mr. T, like all these. Anyway, decided that what America needed was a cereal with fruit-flavored dinosaurs. For the box, they decided to turn 4 of the dinosaurs into diner employees and 1 dinosaur into the diner itself.
The actual, like, not a person dining at the establishment, but the diner that they are all working in?
The diner building is a dinosaur. With a door and windows.
That seems to me like such a gimmicky thing that would actually exist.
Yeah, and you see someone's another dinosaur. His head is sticking out of the window, out of the side of the dinosaur diner, and he's waving. And then there's 3 other dinosaurs at the front in the foreground, and they're they're happily enjoying some dinosaurs.
So they're eating. That's what the diner serves.
Is diner? Yeah, cereal.
Breakfast cereal.
So you go to this diner, which is the inside of a dinosaur, and then you have dinosaurs serve you cereal that's shaped like dinosaurs. Now, I guess, I don't know, is the cereal shaped like dinosaurs, or is the cereal shaped like dinosaurs?
If dinosaurs are what we originally talked about, I hope
that's
not what they look like.
Ugh, puss. Anyway, this comes with dinosaur trading cards, because who doesn't want a dinosaur trading card? And I don't know.
I want to know if anybody has some of those still.
Well, I don't know if they're inside the box, or I could imagine them being like something you cut out of the. Well, I could see it where you cut them out of the back of the box. I think they might have been printed on the back, and you have to cut them out. I could be wrong. I don't know. All right, this one is called Freakies.
Oh.
Introduced in 1973, this was a cereal where the marketing campaign was arguably more important than the cereal itself. Freakies, by the name of Snorkeldorf, Cow Mumble, Ham Hose, Boss Moss, Goody Goody, Gargle, and Grumble, each with its own distinct personality, were the subject of 10 commercials from 1974 to 1975, becoming somewhat of a pop culture curiosity. As for the cereal itself, it was just sweetened light brown rings. But you get a free Freaky inside.
Oh.
So you can feel free to go inside and get Freaky.
Yeah. You got to collect all them Freakies.
I bet you it's where you actually have like one of the Freaky characters on the box, like inside. I bet you that's what they actually were doing. Where like this toy, is, so this is actually lining up with the cereal itself. One of the first.
I mean, it's lining up with the idea of the cereal. The cereal itself was just brown circles.
Right. No. Yeah. But it's lining up with the marketing of the cereal versus everything else so far, where it's like, get a super ruler or get a calculator,
Yeah. Get a flying car.
A campaign button. All right. This is the strangest one to me, and it's the last one that we're going to talk about. So this is called Grins, Smiles and Smiles and Giggles and Laughs.
Mom, can you go to the store and get me a box of Grins and Smiles and Giggles and Laughs? Is that right?
Grins and Smiles and Giggles and Laughs. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was only half paying attention and I got it.
Wow. It takes funny people to make funny cereal was the tagline for this sad, oddball relic of the hippie era that debuted in 1975. The cereal's storyline, quote unquote, I'm sorry, I corrected you last time for this, so I will say, quote, storyline, unquote, was about 4 characters named Grins, Smiles, Giggles, and Laughs, naturally, who had to make a robot laugh before it could pop out a box of cereal.
Robots have no emotion.
Yeah, so there's 4 characters on the box, and there's this robot, and the robot is like a yellow, basically it's about the size of a refrigerator. There's a lever on his side, which the lever handle is half of a bone, and then
what?
It looks like he has shoes. The robot has like shoes, and then in the bottom front are these 2 white gloved hands that stick out, and then there's another smaller box that jets out the front of the main box of the robot. The main box of the robot is topped off with a glass dome, which appears to be full of the cereal that you're trying to get to.
Okay.
The front part of the robot that juts out has a giant ear on the side of it, and one of the characters is holding a feather up to the ear in an attempt to tickle the robot. One guy is on top of the part of the box that juts out and is doing a handstand on that part of the robot.
Okay.
And the other 2 are just sort of smiling in the background, I guess, enjoying the calamity that's going on right now with the other 2 attempting to make the robot laugh.
Okay. Why does the robot have a giant ear on the side of a box?
I don't know. I guess for tickling, or whispering sweet nothings, or threatening quietly, give me some cereal or I'll power you down, robot.
Well, that won't work though, because they have to make it laugh.
I know, but maybe you can convince it if you threaten it to power it down. You know, if this
it'll
is a
find
robot,
the threats. It'll find the threats funny because it knows that you can't
do
harm
it. Yeah, so maybe
It's like, oh, silly people. Oh, damn! And then cereal
Yeah.
pops out.
This has a free magnet inside.
Oh,
and the magnet looks like it has a robot on it that kind of looks a little bit similar to the robot that's on the front of the box, but not exactly.
Here's a different robot.
Yeah, it's a different. Maybe it's like, hey, we need to come up with the look of this robot. Everybody submit your idea, and then maybe this was a version of the robot that got rejected. Like, hey, we'll slap that one on the magnets.
Sounds like the version of the robot that got accepted is awful.
Yeah, well, neither of them look good. They both look terrible. So this is those are some wackadoo cereals that have come and gone. Thankfully, I
feel like some of them barely came.
Probably like who's out there buying who's out buying a cereal called OKs?
Right. Like I said, it would have probably been better if it was called KOs. I think the marketing would have been better for it.
You know, King Vitamin, that was around for way too long.
That was around for a long time. I think.
Yeah.
I want to say, is it actually fully gone? King Vitamin might still be around.
It might be. I don't recall seeing it in a long time.
Because to me, it seems like it's one of those cereals where you can get like the off-brand cereals in the bags.
Yeah,
you know I'm talking about
malto meal or whatever.
Yeah, like that section of the cereal, which I don't know if that section of the cereal aisle even exists anymore.
I haven't seen it,
but it's like legit the exact same cereal, but it's just insanely cheaper. Because I believe like a lot of companies have like, this is like, these are the Kellogg's brand cereals that come out, but then this is Kellogg's like little sister company that they have. Like if they owned Malto Meal, and they would put the exact same cereal out, like completely identical, but in the bag form under the smaller company. So you're literally getting like the exact same cereal, but for cheaper and more of it, to be honest, because those bags. And honestly, like, I don't know how often I know I'd purchase like bagged cereal a few times, not a ton of times, but it's like, it makes more sense in the end. It's like it tastes exactly the same, and you get more. I was
about to say that it tastes different. To me, I could tell the difference, but it is funny that it comes in a bag when you know, regular cereals or name brand cereals come in a bag that's inside a box.
Right. So it's also cheap. It's also it's less waste as well.
Yeah, I understand the box just for storing, like more. It's easier to have a more structured storage of your cereal in your pantry versus a bunch of bags. But I could tell the difference whenever I ate the bagged cereal. It never quite tasted the same to me as the brand or the cereal it was sort of knocking off.
Well, not all of us have such a sophisticated palate as you, Sean. I guess I wouldn't say. I guess if I had them next to each other and I was comparing the two, I'd probably be able to be like, oh yeah, they do taste different. This one's better than that one, vice versa. But
you think you could win at a blind taste test?
Yeah, I think in general, if it's similar or close to similar, it's fine. Like if I occasionally I'll buy like a box of cereal if I go to Aldi and they have like Aldi brand versions of like Golden Grams.
Right.
They taste fine. They're not awful. They're probably like, if I bought a box of Golden Grams specifically and ate those, I'd probably be like, oh yeah, these are actually better. But
I like how you said
fine.
I like how you said close to similar. Like it's not similar, it's close.
Oh, you know what I mean though. Like it's probably close enough that like it's one of those things where it's close enough that it's like, who cares? It tastes fine. It's not awful.
Yeah, I mean, I never was like, ew, this is gross. I just remember noticing, it doesn't quite taste exactly the same as Fruit Loops or, you know, King Vitamin.
Yeah, it's like buying name brand milk versus store brand milk. It's milk.
Yeah, it's all milk.
Are you going to tell the difference between a Kemp's and a fucking like super value version of the milk?
I mean, it's like
they probably all come from the same. I mean, they don't all necessarily come from the same farm, but it's like cows are cows, and they make like milk is probably all processed pretty much exactly the same way.
Well, and you know, it's not like Cub is getting It's not like Kemp's is getting their milk from these cows, and then Cub is getting their milk from different cows. It's
I'm
all
sure
the
they
same.
just have different farms that they purchase from or whatever.
They probably all purchase from all the farms, and then Kemp's can slap their name on the milk they bought, and Cub will slap their name on the milk they bought. That's how the world works, Matt. It's all a ruse. It's all a ruse.
That's how the milk world works.
That's how my milk world works.
That's how you milk.
That's how I milk the world.
That's how your milk works. How I Milk the World is the name of a new sitcom coming out shortly. I don't know. Sounds like it could be the name of a sitcom.
Yeah, it could be.
Or a show, I guess. Not
wait, what was it again?
How I Milk the World.
How I Milk the World. That's well, no, that's not. That doesn't sound like that'll ever be a show.
How I Milk Your Mother.
Well, it's no.
Oh no, that's the name of a very specific video.
Right. And its sequel, its spinoff sequel, whatever. How I Milk Your Father.
Also, very, very specific one-off video that you can find on certain websites.
Yeah, you have to prove your age.
Yeah, usually. You have to prove your age by clicking a button that says, yes, I am.
I'm old enough. Yeah. I'm old enough to view this.
I remember back in the day when you're when the internet was first kind of becoming a thing, and as a budding young growing boy, you discover the internet has dirty, naughty photos and videos on it.
Wait, you mean like me or the royal you?
Yep. The royal. All right. I'm speaking more so from my own experience, but I remember trying to be sneaky at night. Parents are asleep, and you're on the computer, and you're like, I'm going to look up some dirty stuff. And so it was my inner monologue. And and the first time you click on that thing that says, are you over 18? And you're just kind of think to yourself, I'm going to click yes on this, but what if they find out? What if they find out I'm not? What'll happen if I say yes, I am, but I'm really not? And it's funny. There's just nothing that's nothing stops anybody from just saying yeah, I'm 18 or older. That it's such a almost pointless thing to even put. I get legally why they have to put it there, but it's it's so pointless because it doesn't stop anything from happening.
It might have worked on younger kids.
Yeah,
maybe whoops,
on the real naive who are oh, I better not.
Yeah, but anyone who's out looking for that stuff online, they're just gonna skip right past that to gain access. Yeah, it's oh man, I really wanted to see some dirty stuff, but I got but this pop up won't let me.
Guess I'll just have to spy on my neighbors.
There's
no age restriction there. Tell me I can't do that.
Check out my pop up. Hey, reminder, we at some point are going to be on a show called Stuff I Never Knew. Just a reminder, we don't know when yet.
I know. I checked again this week and some other episode popped up. I'm like, oh, I guess not us yet.
Yeah, I don't remember how long ago we did that, but
it's been a few weeks now.
Well, so yeah, what I was kind of told was about 4 weeks for it to be on YouTube, and then maybe another 4 weeks after that for the audio version to be on.
It's weird that the video version of it would be up sooner than the podcast version.
Well, the video version I think is for this sort of local TV channel that they have. So maybe they're quicker to get those up on there than but I don't know why it's any extra work to just make the audio, export the audio of it.
The audio is to me, I guess it just seems like the audio's easier and faster, but editing wise and everything. But I don't know. I'm very proud of myself for the fact that I don't think I cursed even once.
I don't think you did.
Yeah, I think I was very well behaved.
We were told not to curse, just so everyone knows.
It is a family friendly show.
If it
wasn't a personal goal of mine, it was
right. If Matt would have been allowed to curse and he didn't, he would not have been proud.
No,
he would have been ashamed of himself. But this was a rule.
We did ask ahead of time just to be certain, and then they also said it before we started. I think is probably just something they typically do. Just tell everybody to try not to.
That or because we asked specifically if you could or not. They wanted to remind
possibly,
you.
Yeah, possibly.
Make sure you don't swear. The funny thing is,
he never said make sure you don't. He said try not to. He's like, we can edit it if we have to, but if you can keep it to a minimum or try not to, that's great.
They just, they don't want to bleep something out if they don't have
but
to.
I was a good boy, and I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't. It was good.
What?
You didn't, and it was good.
Oh, they're like, yes, you were a good boy.
You were a very good boy.
You were a very good boy.
You were a very good boy. Would you like to find my campaign button?
Oh, that would make you a great boy.
Yeah,
you
might
be a great boy.
You want to? You want a little boy? A little boy. You want
my chocolate cream filmed?
You want to help me run for president?
You'd be the worst president.
Find my campaign button covered in chocolatey creamy filling.
If we ever had a president that talked like that.
Hey, little boy.
Yeah, how do you cover something with filling? Oh,
I don't know.
Can tell you. Actually, I do know.
We'll save that for another show.
There's a whole sexual process.
It's process.
Sorry.
You little beesh.
Don't do that to me. Don't be like that. Don't beesh like that.
All right. Letter.
What?
Oh, wait, no. It's not letter. It's letter, word.
Oh, we're stopping?
Yeah, we're done.
Are we
what
done
else
here?
you got? Are you done? I'm out of cereals.
Oh.
I can't talk about anything else.
You're all out.
I ran out of cereal. Yeah. I'm all out of cereal.
Okay.
Actually, I have tricks here, but
you shouldn't have tricks in your house.
They're for kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't have been allowed to purchase that.
Sometimes I have a kid here,
Yeah. So is he the only one who eats them?
I have not had any.
Has he?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, if we all remember, it's the silly rabbit that needed to be reminded. I don't have a problem with it. I don't need to be reminded that it's for kids. I know.
You don't ever consider yourself to be a silly rabbit?
No, I'm a very uptight, what do you call it? Buttoned up rabbit. Very proper, very prim.
Mm.
I'm all about business. I'm all about
business rabbit.
I'm a business rabbit. Yep.
Stocks and bonds and
multiplying.
Because only business people multiply?
Only business rabbits.
Well, I think all rabbits multiply.
I mean, you see the Trix rabbit getting down with anybody? No.
They're
just concerned with cereal. They're just concerned with their cereal.
Because here's the thing. That's not something they would show in the commercial.
Only if you click on...
He'd be smart to just go and, have a bunch of kids. Because then they could have the tricks. He could get tricks in his house that way. If he had a bunch of children.
Yeah, that's true. He could just kidnap the kids that are after the cereal.
Silly rabbit. That's what makes him a truly silly rabbit.
I'm like the rabbit from Winnie the Pooh. I got no sense of humor. Pooh annoys me because he keeps messing up my garden.
Okay.
And getting himself stuck in my window or door. What was that? It was a window, right?
I believe it was a window, yeah.
Yeah.
Who gets stuck in a door?
I don't know. Jeeves.
Example. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't think of something, just say example.
Example. Mr. Example Pants.
Oh.
He got stuck at a door once.
I mean, I guess I'd rather run into Mr. Example Pants than Mr. Sample Pants.
Or Mr. What was that? Mr. Surprise?
Yeah.
What was it? Mr. Wonderful's Surprise. Sorry.
Wonderful's?
Like it's his surprise. It belongs to him.
Okay. I think I missed the apostrophe S earlier, and I thought it was just Mr. Wonderful Surprise.
Oh.
Which is
like his name is Wonderful.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? Don't know which one's worse.
Well,
won't, and don't want to put my finger on it.
I would probably trust something named Mr. Wonderful more than Mr. Wonderful Surprise.
Right.
Could we be done now?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, next Tuesday.
Cowabunga.
Bye.
I've got to weigh in, though. I've got to weigh in. Ready? I'll tell you another one of these. I'll tell you one more of these jokes, these dad jokes. This will be a good way into what you're going to talk about here.
Okay.
Why do porcupines always win at soccer?
I don't know.
They have the most points. And speaking of animals, Matt, you recently saw a seal perform.
It's the worst segue. It's the worst segue ever. Yes, actually. Yeah, I went and saw.
Yes.
I went and saw Seal in concert last night. Yeah, that's it. No,
all right. Bye.
No, it was super awesome. Iman,
did he have an opening act?
Yeah, So the opening act was very surprising. The Buggles.
The Buggles.
So you will know who they are once I tell you a very famous song of theirs. A band. This is a band I would have never expected to see in my life. Their very, very popular hit of "Video Killed the Radio Star."
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So their set was actually super, super awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very surprised by it. So they came out, and the first thing they did is, as we found out later what the song was because we looked it up. And I should say we know what it is. I have to look up what it actually was called again because I don't remember.
The odd thing about that pairing is those guys were popular like a decade before anyone knew who Seal was.
Yeah. Oh,
it's not
more than a decade. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like they're from the same era.
Yeah. So, and the thing is I don't know how. I know for a fact at least the lead singer was originally from the Buggles. I don't believe the rest of the members that were playing with him are any sort of original members. But
sure.
I will explain to why that all ended up kind of making sense as to why they opened for him. But the first song they played was actually a Frankie Goes to Hollywood song, but it was an instrumental version of it. And it was actually really, really cool. Then they played a few Buggles songs, but then that guy actually was a member. I believe eventually the Buggles kind of broke up, and then he either was a member or had something to do with the group Yes.
Okay.
So then they played Owner of a Lonely Heart because that's the Yes song. Thrower
of a poison dart.
Yep. He's led into that by saying, I wrote the verses of this song so I can play it. And then they played it.
Nice.
And then he was also a member of the group, I believe they're called Art of Noise. Oops. Sorry. Hold on. I clicked on something on my phone to verify something. And sorry, no. But yeah, so then they played an Art of Noise song, which was super awesome to hear live. And actually we listened to the video version of it later. And I'm like, it's a cool song. It's super weird. It's just got tons of different noises in it that end up making a song. But the live version of it was so much better. But yeah, so they did all that. And then they closed with Video Killed the Radio Star, obviously.
Nice.
And then there's a brief intermission. And then, band comes back out, starts playing again. And then Seal walks out. And as he's playing, the first song he played was Crazy. As that song's going, I'm like, oh, the guitarist that was out here for the Buggles, it's Seal's guitarist. I'm like, that's interesting how that works. And then I'm looking over, I'm like, oh, the lead singer from the lead singer from the from the Buggles is the bassist for Seal. And I look at the rest of the band members, I'm like, oh, it's all of the people that were out on stage earlier. They're the backing band for Seal. So I'm like, oh, it all makes sense as to why they were opening for him now. So That's how that all kind of formed. So I thought it was fun because since that dude was in so many different bands, he got to play kind of an array of stuff from throughout his career. And then it's kind of interesting too to be like, oh, the guy who did Video Killed the Radio Star was actually in all these different bands and had kind of all this different influence of this different music throughout all the decades and stuff. But yeah, it was a really good show. It was a 30th anniversary tour, which is weird because his first album was released in 91. His second was released in 94. So it was kind of a 30th anniversary amidst those two albums. So all the songs he played last night were from the first two albums. So
gotcha.
Kind of played first album songs first, then switched over and started playing second album songs after that. And so the song he closed with, the main set, he closed with Kiss from a Rose, obviously, which was nice because I almost expected that to be an encore song.
Oh, okay.
So he closed with that, and then we left because we're just like, let's get out of here to beat traffic, beat the crowd getting out of the theater, all that kind of shit. So I'm not exactly sure what he did for encores, but it was the same thing we did when we went and saw Duran Duran. As soon as the main set was done, we scooted out because we're like, whatever they play during encores, we're just going to miss it because That was an arena show, though, so that one we were like, we definitely need to get the hell out of here. This was at Chicago Theater, so it's a big theater, and it wasn't even fully sold out, but we're still just like wanted to beat the crowd.
Do you think you were the first to leave, and then people followed suit after you?
No, because there was other people leaving as we were leaving as well, but not
okay. So it's
crowd. So other people kind of had that same idea. Let's get out of here before the big crowd.
So as far as people leaving, you don't really know who broke the seal.
No, that was a joke we had said a couple times last night.
Oh, really? But I thought I just invented it.
No, as we were getting out of the car, Iman said, "Are you ready to get sealed?" I'm like, "Don't ever say that to me ever again." She's like, "Oh, yeah, no, So no, yeah. But
you can also
watch the show Community.
I started to watch it a long time ago, and I think I got about 4 episodes in, and then I for some reason fell off.
I'm not sure where in the series this part happens, but they're trying to come up with a school mascot.
Okay.
And they want it to be an all-inclusive thing. They don't want to
sure.
They're so worried about excluding any sort of ethnicity or anything like that. So they ended up making they put up this big banner of a color wheel of people.
Sure.
And the joke was the school headmaster or whatever. It's like, oh, the color thing goes from seal to seal's teeth as far as dark to light.
Nice.
And there was this whole clip showing at the beginning of while the music first started and the band is playing, and then there's all this visual stuff coming up of throughout Seal's career and everything. And they were showing different movie things he's done or TV show things where he's been mentioned. And we're both sitting there please, please, please. But that part did not come up. And I was like, oh, that would have been so great if they put that little thing up.
Well, I can guarantee you that episode is not, or that part is not during the first 4 episodes of the show.
Okay. It's a funny fucking joke. And then also with the Community, then the mascot.
Well, I already heard it now.
Well, yeah. But the mascot ends up being the human being. And it's just this person in this gray bodysuit. So it's non-distinct anything, but they're just called the human beings. And
sure.
Human Beings is a Seal song for sure. Maybe an album as well.
Oh, really?
They kind of went with the Seal joke on that whole shtick, which was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
So that's what I did last night.
Good.
That's why
fun.
I'm here to talk real quick.
And watch this be the only recording that worked.
Oh, don't say that. If you have just had a 10-minute episode, just know that everything went to shit.
Well, we won't post this if that's the case. They'll never hear it. But
this is the episode otherwise.
Yeah.
No intro, nothing.
Yeah, you'll notice a little bit of a clunkiness that happened because we ended the show and then totally forgot to let Matt talk about his concert experience.
I couldn't figure out how to organically bring it up.
His one, he gives himself one thing a year to do outside of his apartment, and this was it. So we have to talk about it. This was your one social outing for the year. So
it's not true.
It's what, every 2 years?
Let me say this. I hope it's not true. There's still plenty of a year left. I hope to not come into the Christmas season and realize this is the one thing I did with my calendar year.
Yeah, and this is also the reason, maybe not the only reason, but this is definitely one of the reasons that Matt wouldn't let me come to hang out with him this long holiday weekend.
I shouldn't say I didn't let you come out. I just informed you that I had something going on, and it probably wasn't the best idea for you to come out. Even though, to be honest, you could have came with us to the concert. It was not sold out.
Yeah.
You could have, I could
have scooped up a tick.
There was a ton of seats left.
Our
section was basically almost empty, but our row was full. And then the row behind us, and subsequently the next 10 rows behind us, had nobody in them.
That's weird.
So we ended up going in the row. We moved to the row behind us because then everybody.
That's what I would have done.
Yeah, then everybody spread out in the row we were in. They scooted over a couple stuff because it's no.
I would have done that.
Yeah. So it was that because we waited through the opening act to be people might come in and sit, but then
filter in filter in slowly.
Started, it was no. And we were front row upper balcony.
Okay.
So we had great seats. We could see everything really well. We were still, pretty damn close to the stage. There was people all the way in the back. So I'm thinking people just bought super, super cheap tickets to sit all the way in the back. But it's like at that point, you sitting way back there and you see that there's so many empty seats ahead of you, move in for a better view.
I'm sure any performer is going to want people to flood forward if they can anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Seal would have approved it. I wasn't trying to make a joke. I was just saying he would have
It would have had his seal of approval.
I was not even trying to do that.
You caught
that's
it
why
as
I didn't
you said it, or
no, I didn't even catch it. I caught your look after I said it. I'm like, no, because I didn't say seal of approval. I said Seal would have approved it. I
thought you were still kind of like, yeah.
Sure. But I saw your reaction. I'm like, wait, no, that's not.
Yeah,
I see what it sounds like I was trying to do, but no, I wasn't trying to do that at all. Yeah, I remember when I was working at the Home Shopping Channel and they were selling Serta mattresses. I used to try to tell the guest host to try to say, "Hey, are you ready to get certified?" She never.
I assume, she never did.
Yeah. A lot of people didn't take to any suggestions I had.
She thought you were probably certifiable. Insane.
Yeah. Very good. Very good. Yeah. I had a lot of suggestions for people there that didn't take.
As in, did anything you ever tried to get people to do make it through? Or was everything ever always turned down?
Some stuff. I just have examples of stuff that didn't work.
You can't remember.
And this is.
Did.
Well, no. Well, and I'm not even necessarily talking about stuff getting on air. Just like, I don't know if I want to mention it on here.
All right. After we're gonna quit recording, Sean's gonna tell me something that you guys don't get to know.
You don't get to know because it might be controversial.
It's sexy. We like sexy stuff. If you want to hear the sexy stuff, you got to listen to High School Famous After Dark. That's our dirty
High School Famous. It's High School Famous After Class.
Ooh, yeah.
Class After Dark.
Attention. You ready to get held back?
You ready to repeat a grade?
All right. We'll see you next Tuesday again.
All right. Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
If you have a question, complaint, or threat for Sean or Matt, you can reach us on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at hsfamouspod, or you can email the show at highschoolfamous@gmail.com. No animals were pleasured during the making of this podcast, despite our best efforts. All hail our Lord and Savior.
Lemmings.
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 Lemmings. Lemmings. Lemmings. Lemmings. Lemmings. Lemmings. Lemmings.
Lemmings.
Lemmings. Lemmings.
Lemmings. Lemmings. Lemmings.
Lemmings. Lemmings. Lemmings.
Stuff like that's the reason why people still believe the earth is flat.